Welcome to Sword of Laban, where we seek greater light and truth and have fun. Today I want to show you a really interesting experiment that I did, and this is actually what tipped the scales for me and made me want to start a YouTube channel. So I'd like to see what you think. Let's dive in. Alright, the experiment is to go on YouTube, but before we do that, in Google Chrome here, we're going to go to the ... menu and click on New Incognito Window and go to youtube.com. Now what that's doing is making sure that Google Chrome doesn't know who I am. So when I usually go to YouTube, of course the YouTube algorithm knows exactly which videos I've historically liked and clicked on and watched and subscribed to, and what channels I've blocked and so forth. But now that I'm in incognito mode, it doesn't know any of that. And so it's going to be more like sort of what you would get for the average guy off the street if that person was going to search for our church online. Let's go ahead and see what would happen if they search for the word Mormon. Alright, so we have an ad up the top here for Google Chrome. We can ignore that. In the center on the bottom, we have Alyssa Grenfell dressed in full temple clothing. To her right, and it says this is what happens in the Mormon temple. I'm going to have to be blurring some of these things out because I don't really want to propagate that imagery across other YouTube videos. To her right, we have, I think her name's Cara Burrell. She is an up-and-coming Alyssa Grenfell wannabe that makes short videos about the church, making fun of the church. Let's see, to the right of that, we have The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which, fair enough, there's a new TV series out, so I would expect there'll be some buzz on the shorts about that. But let's go down a little bit further. 4 reasons why Mormonism is a false religion. 184,000 views. Let's go down further. Mormons Explained. I'm pretty sure they don't do a good job of explaining Mormons. That's got 163,000 views. Mormonism After Dark. This is Mormon Discussion Inc. So Bill Reel and Radio Free Mormon, which are 2 anti-Mormon podcasters, been around a long time. Here this is their latest episode, seems like. This is an irrelevant ad. Let's skip over that. Alyssa Grenfell reappears here. This one, what the Mormon Church doesn't want you to know, hashtag ex-Mormon, Mormon Prosperity Gospel, hashtag LDS, hashtag Mormon. It was racism. Mormon Christians admits this on camera. This is John DeLynn. Why are Mormon leaders no longer speaking to the press? So John DeLynn is a long-time anti-Mormon podcaster. Let's go down a little further. Sherry Frank's House of My Mother, Mormons React. This is Mormon Stories podcast. This is John DeLynn's baby that he's been running for, I don't know, 15 years, something like that. The Real Story of the Mormon Church. Okay, so Johnny Harris, he's a podcaster. He releases a variety of content. He grew up as a member of the church. He also released another video that's titled something like Why I Left the Mormon Church. And this appears to be a follow-up about a year ago. 4 million views about that. So this is not faithful material here. Here we have Alyssa Grenfell, surprise, surprise, showing up again. Mormonism is the sci-fi version of Christianity, hashtag ex-Mormon. Now, here we have Wes Huff. He is a Christian who is going on Joe Rogan here, which is perhaps the biggest podcast in the world. He is talking about Mormons, but he's not a Mormon, and he gets a lot of things wrong, unfortunately. Here we have Nemo the Mormon, who is also not a Mormon. He is excommunicated and has a lot of anti-Mormon content on his channel. Now we have Alyssa Grenfell again. Surprise, surprise. You get a planet and you get a planet. So she's making fun of us again. I don't know what this one is. The Mormon prophet hides snipers during the 1967 General Conference. Sounds like highly faithful material to me. Going down, and here is Alyssa Grenfell again in full temple clothing, right there on the right. So I'm going to have to blur that out. It's called Reacting to My Brainwashed Mormon Journals. Nothing to see here. Just a 12-year-old fantasizing she should know her future children's last names. ... Now there's an ad for a casino. Completely irrelevant, so that's okay. We'll skip over the ads. Mormon Discussion Inc. That's them again. We saw them further up. That's an anti-Mormon podcast. Okay, finally. You're probably getting sick of this, but we finally come to a faithful video here. This is Thoughtful Faith. The title is Misunderstanding and Misinformation, Why Joe Rogan Needs to Interview a Mormon. So thank you to Thoughtful Faith for making it on this list. You're only, I don't know, 20 videos down, but well done. This is a recent video. And of course, when you search on YouTube, it doesn't search all of history equally. It gives you more recent content, right? That's how the algorithm is designed. Let's go down, just see a few more, because I'm sure you've seen the theme by now, but I do want to try to see all the aspects of this. So Mormonish podcast, which is an anti-Mormon podcast. This is more on LDS gospel cartoons for kids. So Bill Reel, Radio Free Mormon, and so forth are making more anti-Mormon content here, and Rebecca, Bibliotheca. Again, another anti-Mormon one, an ad for Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Okay, here's a Fox 13 News Utah. So I guess you can't call this one anti-Mormon. So that's maybe 2 videos so far. An irrelevant ad. Here we go. Johnny Harris, 7.3 million views. Why I left the Mormon Church, and so forth. So Cliff Knechtley, I don't know how to say it. He is a Christian, bashing Joseph Smith here. Mormonism and the LDS Church beliefs. A banned Mormon cartoon. Ooh, exciting. 7 things that Mormon women don't want you to know. Former Mormon high priest speaks out. Evidence the Book of Mormon is false. Meet the Mormons inside a fundamentalist community. Well, I'm sure that's a lot to do with the Brighamite sect. Now, inside the largest Mormon community, I don't know what this one is. The bizarre reason Mormons dominate ballroom dancing. This is Alyssa Grenfell again. So, there you go. Oh, and just to top it off, we'll stop here, but I think at this point you've got it. Here's Alyssa Grenfell, and another thing that I'm going to have to blur out, thanks Alyssa, making work for me, you know, where she's got herself in the temple clothing right there in the thumbnail. Well, what do you say to this, right? And I know your first reaction may be, well, yeah. Well, you search for the word Mormon, and the leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are encouraging us to not use that word so much anymore in favor of Latter-day Saint or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. To which I agree. But still, this is still the experience that some random person off the street is going to have when they search for our church, typically. So I don't really know what to make of all this. Now, you might actually have a bit of luck if you search for Latter-day Saint here. And I've done experiments on that too. And you'll get 50-50 if you do that in terms of positive and negative material. But my mind is blown by this. I had no idea that there was this much anti-Mormon stuff out there being produced day to day, because I've already highly curated my YouTube feed. But yet all this material is available to anyone that is trying to sincerely to find out about our church. So my brain doesn't really know where to go with this. What do we make of this mountain of anti-Mormon content that's out there and that keeps getting produced day to day, week to week? And I encourage you to do this experiment yourself. You go ahead and open Chrome in incognito mode and go to youtube.com and type in LDS or Latter-day Saints or Mormon and just play around and understand how much of the faithful versus the anti-faithful material that is out there online. You might be surprised.
So is this even a problem? Am I making a big deal out of nothing? Is this just inevitable and move along, nothing to see here? What, if anything, can be done about it? Did you even know that it's this bad online? I didn't. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Love to hear from you. But for now, this is Sort of Laban, out.